It's Cash with a K.
Cash with a K.
Mm-hmm.
After all that we've been through, I will make it up to you. I promise to. And after all that's been said and done, you're just a part of me I can't let
Welcome to The Wrecking Trade, the radio show that provides a platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men find their place in the modern world. Through engaging interviews with experts and members of the community, we provide a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like as an example for boys and girls. Our mission is to provide a voice for men, to help them navigate the challenges that they face and provide hope for a brighter future. So tune in and join the conversation on The Wrecking Trade. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of men and boys in the Cayman Islands. Welcome to The Wrecking Trade, the radio show that provides a platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men find their place in the modern world. Through engaging interviews with experts and members of the community, we provide a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like as an example for boys and girls. Our mission is to provide a voice for men, to help them navigate the challenges that they face and provide hope for a brighter future. So tune in and join the conversation on The Wrecking Trade. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of men and boys in the Cayman Islands. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Flashpoint Media, and a big welcome to The Wrecking Trade, the show where we dive deep into masculinity, male responsibility, and accountability. And today is going to be an incredible show. But before we do that, do me a solid and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. That's how we help others like you to find this kind of content, because if it resonates with you, it may resonate with others, and we want the YouTube algorithm to know that. So do me that solid and help us out there. That said, let's get right into it. We have a super awesome show planned for you, and we have a wonderful conversation. And I'm going to let our guest introduce herself right away. And first, 5 questions, right? 5 easy questions for you. So first, of course, tell us your name. What's your name?
My name is Kashekia Bowen.
Kashekia Bowen. That's like Cash with a K.
That's Cash with a K. That's my nickname, yes.
All right. So we have your name. So your relationship status?
I'm married.
Married. And what's your age?
I'm 29.
29. Married, 29, and highest education level completed?
On my way to a bachelor's, finished the associates.
On your way to bachelor's, and you've finished your associate. And what do you do for work?
I work at the Health Services Authority, that's the Cayman Islands Hospital, and I'm a patient experience officer.
All right, this is awesome. This is awesome. And I'm sure you've taken some time to understand the content, maybe looked at what we do here already, right?
Yes.
What's your impression so far, right off the bat?
Well, I am optimistic.
And you say you have someone special listening, watching.
I think my husband is out there. Hello.
All right, all right, all right. So essentially, what we do is we dive deep into the conversations between men and women, and we kind of have a conversation in a way that sometimes husbands, partners, boyfriends may be challenged to have, because the road may be choppy when they ask you some of the questions, or when we share some of the things that we talk about. Today, actually, we're going to look at, interestingly enough, the top 7 reasons why single black men don't approach black women.
Mm,
Right?
okay.
What do you think? So sometimes when I say this to women, they think, we're awesome, we're fine. It's them who's the problem. What do you think?
No,
What do you think?
no. I think there is equally problems all around, women and men.
Sure.
So I'm not going to say that black men don't approach black women. I don't agree with that at all.
Mm,
Mm, Yes.
Okay. And of course, you'll say that because how long have you been married, by the way?
Well, we are young in our marriage. So we've been married for 3 years, going on 3 years next month. But we've been together for 9 years.
That's good. That's awesome. And so he chose to lock it down, put a ring on it and you chose to get off the stage, get off the stairs, and get into a relationship.
Yeah, we've been in a relationship for a long time, so
There you go.
it was a good transition into marriage.
All right. And
We have 2 kids.
there you go. Even perfect. So you've done. Oh, because we also like to talk about what roles and responsibilities are. And so you've
Right,
done your
right.
role. You've gotten married. You've made the right choice. You've decided to have children early. I think the average age that persons get married in our region or in this side of the world is about 29 after they've made the runs and done the road. But you've
Yes.
chosen to do something different. Why?
Yes. Well, we fell in love, so things kind of progressed quickly with us. So it, you just know when you found the one, so you don't have to be wondering and pondering. It's just about building your lives together and trying to figure out each other and just make God lead us from there.
All right. All right. So I'm hearing quite a few things. Make God lead you from there. That means you're a woman of faith.
Right.
This is a nice one because here's where many times we turn left or turn right. Do you believe in gender roles?
To a certain extent.
And your husband is watching, listening to a certain extent. Where's that line drawn for you?
Back in the days, as we would say,
Uh-huh.
traditional women are considered to be homemakers. So you're supposed to be at home. You're supposed to tend to household duties. You're supposed to make sure that the kids are straight. You're supposed to make sure that you're there to comfort your husband when he is going through what he's going through. And basically, you're just supposed to know your place, be seen, not heard. That was that's how it was.
Are you sure that's how it was?
It
Or that's how
was.
we framed it so that we can do something
That's
else and
how
feel
we
good?
saw it.
That's how you saw it.
Yes.
That's how you saw it. So I want you to think about this. If that was the case, then why do you think, or who do you think invented chivalry?
Good question.
Because I mean, if women are supposed to know their place, doesn't
But-
chivalry celebrate women?
Yes, but that's the thing. Men in those days, they do that to lock in the woman, as you would say.
To lock her in?
Yes,
What do you mean?
because you do all that you can do to get that person to fall for you, or you show them the best version of yourself. And then when you have that person and you know that that person is yours, then your true self comes out. And that's how sometimes I'm not sure if it's okay for persons to get married really quickly after knowing each other, because you're getting to know what that person wants you to know. And then after you're married, you meet the person for real.
So usually in these conversations, we recognize some amount of projection. So if we're anticipating that this is what the man is going to do, chances are we've been doing those things.
Everybody shows the best versions of themselves,
Gotcha.
or what you want that person to think of you. It's literally human nature.
It's human nature for you to put your best foot forward.
Right.
All right. So let's explore it then, because we were talking about gender roles here, and you're saying you hesitate. But for men, our roles are essentially written in stone. So, all right, let me ask you this. Whether you're married or not, you go, say when you just met your husband, you went out on a date with him, you're going out, you're hanging out, you don't know if you like him or not. So you don't know if you want to cross the bridge with him yet. But, question, someone approaches you and means to do you harm, what do you expect from him?
I mean, we haven't established a relationship as yet, so I'm not going to expect him to protect me. My father is supposed to protect me in that
But your father's
instance.
not there.
Who I
Yeah.
call him. But yes, if he is there, I would expect him to, stand up for me.
You expect him to stand up for you, right?
Right.
Whether you've made a commitment or not, because
Right. I was raised that a man is supposed to protect and provide.
there we go.
So
you're
I need to see
raised
that you're able to do that.
excellent. So you're raised with some expectations of men
Uh-huh.
right off the bat, irrespective of whatever situation you and them are in. You have those expectations because that's how he signals to you that he's a
Protector.
protector and a provider, which means he's a
man.
There we go. And worthy, and a good
But
prospect to be your
men
husband.
have high expectations of women also.
Now let's talk about that.
A man expects a woman to know how to cook.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Especially Caribbean men.
Okay.
You just have to know how to cook.
So do
you
you
have
know
to
how to
how
cook?
to keep the home. Of course I know how to cook.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What's your special meal for your husband?
Well, he no longer eats anything but chicken and fish, so now it's chicken.
So now it's chicken. That's
Yes.
So what makes him happy in the kitchen? So we're gonna take them step by step. We've talked about the cooking, so we're gonna talk about, because the concept here is that many times we find that men have to know what women want. That's our
Right.
job, because he's not even getting your phone number if he hasn't done something that strikes your attention.
That's true, but that's also the case for women. And
No, actually.
no.
Think about it. Think about it. Ever since you went through puberty, you got breasts, you got a butt, men have been coming up
But
to you.
men are visual creatures. You guys go by what you see. If you see what you would perceive as an ugly girl, would you approach her?
Of course.
No, you wouldn't.
Are you telling me that ugly girls don't get approached?
But that is what you would think that is ugly. Another man thinks that's the most beautiful woman.
So
So she is approached by a man that is attracted to her.
so we keep this dance, right? And this
Right.
dance is, she's not ugly. It's someone else finds her beautiful, and that's what they're
Everybody has their perception of beauty.
the fact-
Everybody has what they are attracted
Actually,
to.
not when it comes to men. Men have a pretty stable thing that they enjoy. Men approach women who are attractive. And attractive can mean whether they're ugly in the face, as look, they're nice in the body, they're good to go.
Yes.
Right? And so a man would be more open to approaching anyone. But women are more selective, wouldn't you agree?
Yes, because we listen. You guys see.
I love that, which means the man not only has to present himself, he also has to put together some words that make sense to you.
But as I said, the man doesn't even have to be a looker, But he can say the right things.
So he can say the right thing. And you think saying the right things comes easy?
No.
So he has to develop some kind of skill in, what we call it in Jamaica? Lyrics.
Lyrics.
Right? And you don't just wake up with lyrics, right? So he has to hone his
Practice,
craft
right.
and practice.
And on the side of the woman, we have to be, we have to put ourselves together.
You know he's gonna approach you whether you're in a car, in a crocus bag or not, right? Don't women know
Depends on
this?
the standards of the man. It really does. Some men are not approaching them. It depends.
All right, so let's have the conversation in general before we go to your husband. You're saying most men, they don't care whether you're wearing a crocus bag or a negligee, right? They'll
We're
still
not
approach
going
you.
to agree on that.
We're not going to agree. Why do you think we're not going to agree?
Because men will approach what they find attractive, and not all women are attractive to all men.
Certainly. All right, let me ask it this way: you think a man would sleep with someone he doesn't find attractive?
Yes.
So what are we talking about?
Because there is certain things about men that I've learned over my short life. Jamaican men, can I only speak for where I'm from, they like to build up their numbers. Right. So even if the girl is not attractive to him, he wants to say that, I have 7, 8, 10 women under my belt. Just to say it.
Okay.
But then, even though he's doing all of that, there is one thing that he's looking for in the midst of everything. And when he finds that, hopefully, he settles.
So excellent. And you've helped us to make the separation between wife material and what we call for the streets or recreational
Numbers.
use only. Right? And so back to the question that you were trying to navigate away from, which was that means a man will approach pretty much anything.
It depends on the stage of life that he's in.
Again, dancing, he'll
Right.
approach pretty much anything depending on, but he'll put them in different categories, but he'll still make the approach. He'll
Right.
approach this lady because she looks wonderful and she's wife material, and so he'll make that approach. But then he's also approached the ugly one who is not too decent, but because she makes up numbers, she's
Right.
recreational use only.
And she's a buffer.
But the underlying fact is he'll still make the approach.
Right.
But women are far more selective.
That's good.
And that's good.
That's
We're
very
not
good.
disputing this at all. What we're trying to agree on is just what is happening. Because for that man who is either approaching the wife or approaching the person who is not going to be the wife, he still has to develop some amount of skill, confidence, and comfort in order to get that person interested.
So what you're saying to me is that if I wasn't married, and a gentleman approaches me, the way he approaches me and the way that he speaks to me and the confidence level that he has, that means that you've done this numerous times before.
It is definitely a skill that he's had
Oh,
to
then
develop
that's not
over
a
time.
good, that's not a good thing.
Of course it is.
Oh no.
You know why?
I want to be with someone that's been with everyone.
You want, it doesn't necessarily mean he's been with everyone, but he's had to spend time building up that confidence. And I'll tell you how it parallels. For you, ever since you went through puberty, men have been approaching you. So you actually developed the skill of talking to the opposite gender.
Or, shoving them to the side.
Or shoving them to the side, which is good because that's a part of your skill. For a woman, you don't want to build up numbers. You don't want to be
Right,
for the
no.
streets. So you learn how to curve
Navigate
men
away.
or navigate away and not be disrespectful, not because you don't
Yes,
want to
That's
create.
actually a skill as well,
Exactly.
Not to be disrespectful, but
But to
respectful
still-
in the same light.
There you go. So you
Yes.
still maintain your integrity, you still maintain your femininity, but you let this man know that, hey, we're not
Yeah,
going down that road together. So that's a skill that you developed. And I mean, on average, about how many men approach it from day to day?
Whew. I can't say, but now that I'm married, it's better. I have a little bit more respect.
But they still approach you.
Yeah, the ones that are disrespectful.
Okay.
The way how they approach me, though.
Yes.
You have some that approach me respectfully, even though they know that I'm married. But you have those that are just, they haven't gotten there yet in that.
So you're practiced in the art of putting them to the side.
Yeah, respectfully.
There we go, respectfully. So for men, though, we don't get approached every day like that. Men don't find themselves in those kind of interactions, just at the supermarket shopping and someone says, can I buy you groceries? That doesn't happen.
That's true.
So interaction with the opposite gender is not something that happens organically. These are situations that we have to create. So while you learned how to talk to the opposite gender
see.
organically, he has to go out now and, because I imagine he made the first approach. He had to come and ask you for your number. He had to come and do this, get your attention, all of those things.
I'm understanding what you're saying. I'm understanding.
Right? So when he comes to you with that confidence, with that comfort and with the right lyrics to make you interested, it's not something that he just rolled out of bed and figured out.
Learn, right. But he can practice in the mirror.
He could, but do you think that would work?
It depends.
Depends. How is he going to know if it's working or not?
That's true.
So
Okay, you're correct. I'm going to give you this one.
There we go. See, so already we're working through compliance and acceptance. So she's on her way to being awesome. This is part of the vetting. I know you've found a good one, but we really put it to the test here. All right? All right,
Okay.
good. So he's had to build up those skills. He had to learn these things in order to connect with you. And now you see him. You find him interesting, because most of those guys that come on, you don't even think about them in that way.
Don't you remember them at the end of the day?
Don't even remember them at the end of the day, which means actually most men are actually invisible to women.
Yeah. I mean, it depends.
No,
Because, you don't want to... If you remember everybody, then who's going to stand out?
the ones that you're attracted to.
That's true.
So the ones that you are attracted to, we recognize that they've spent time building up skill, building up comfort, building up confidence, all of those things. So many times women say, all men are dogs. No. Many times just the ones we choose.
So what about those women that choose a socially awkward type of men that don't know how to speak, that haven't practiced?
Excellent. Great question, Do women choose those men on average?
No. But
Why'd you introduce it?
but it happens. Have you ever seen a couple and you wonder, ooh,
Sure.
how?
Mark Zuckerberg and his wife.
Okay then.
But what did he have to do?
What? Are we going to say it's because the man got rich that he...
Of course.
No.
See?
It does not have to be that.
It has to be something.
I'm sure, didn't they meet in college?
Men have to do something to define themselves always. Men have to do something to distinguish themselves always. Because women don't, like you said, most men are invisible. If he's broke, if he is playing video games all day doing foolishness, he's not going to be something that...
But what if the woman sees in that man what he hasn't even seen in himself?
Let's explore that. Does that happen often?
I'm not talking about the things that happen. Well, we're talking about things that happen often.
Of course.
But there are the moments, those little times when things happen. Those are the ones that spark an interest, that explore and explode into something magnificent, that they have this beautiful life together. We're not talking about those people that are just,
But we could talk about those things, just like we could talk about, aliens coming to Earth. Do they really happen? We don't know.
we don't.
So we have to focus on the things that we see on a day-to-day basis. And we do that because what we're really exploring here is the male-female interaction. And so for the average man, helping him to be able to appreciate what he actually needs to do in order to be interesting to a woman in the first place.
Okay, I'm happy to help.
And then also helping the average woman to recognize that man, what that man has done. Because when we talk about what the man has actually done to get your attention, if you don't recognize it, then you don't appreciate it.
That's true. So you want to say some of the things that a man can do to grab a woman's attention in the first 10 seconds.
All right, so let's do
A
that.
smile is important.
A smile is important.
Right. That's
What
not
does a
that
smile
not
do for
the
you?
not the weird one that you just creeping and looking at somebody over in the corner and you're just a creep. No. You know, if you approach confidently, that's a plus.
And here's the thing here, right? Sometimes when we have these conversations, we'll get advice, right, from women, but then it still doesn't move us forward,
Okay.
right? So you smile. What does that smile look like, right?
Have you ever heard about a flooding smile?
Sure, I'm sure you're gonna tell me what a flooding smile is.
It's a smile that extends to your eyes.
So does that make him creepy or
Genuine.
genuine? Genuine. What do you think about men and emotions?
They guard them and they don't like to show it.
So you want
Because
a man
it's
to share his
considered weak.
emotions with you, right?
It depends.
And men, we're laughing here, but it's important for you to hear this and to be able to appreciate it, because when it comes to female nature, many of the things that we do talk about, many of the things that women share is actually conditional, just like you're expressing. So a smile, but if it's not the right smile, it doesn't open the right door.
If we see that you're trying, you'll get a chance.
Really?
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
So are you saying there are men, you haven't met men who are trying really, really hard, but they didn't do it for you and you curve them, or you don't even remember them?
Oh my goodness! If you give everybody a chance who've tried, it would be it wouldn't end well
Precisely.
for none of us.
Precisely.
Right.
So telling men that they will give you a chance if you try hard.
You see, you have to have a certain thing.
Yes.
And you can try. You can do the same men.
Yes.
If you approach 10 different women with the same type of approach in one night, maybe everybody will let you down, but there will be one person that, will find it cute enough to give you a little chance. You'll get a number. Don't give up.
And you heard that she will find you cute enough, which means you must come cute to begin with.
Just try and try and try again.
and that's fair, and that connects with what we were talking about earlier, in that part of the process is going through rejection. Rejection is going to come. It's a part of the world.
And the nature of men are to be hunters.
Exactly.
Right.
And so men sitting down waiting for prey to come to you or game to come to you is not going to happen. Confidence is not going to happen naturally. It's not going to happen in your bedroom. It's not going to happen while you're playing video games. It happens out in the wild, interacting with women. And they're going to turn you down. It's fine.
It's fine.
Perfectly fine.
Yes.
It's learning how to work through that and connecting it to business. Being your own boss, starting your own business, Mikey G will tell you.
And think positively.
And think positively. Mikey G will tell you. You don't just wake up one day, press a button, and everything just runs smoothly. All right. So with that, let's do this. Let's jump right into this top 7 reasons why single men don't approach black women. And see if, I know this doesn't impact you because, of course, you're already married and these are none of the situations. But if you find any of them strike a chord with you, let's talk about it.
Okay.
All right, so article starts off, and this is written by 2 women. This comes from Essence Magazine, actually, and it comes from this duo of Tina Gilmore and some other person. All right, and it says, as professional matchmakers, we're often asked the same question by black women. Why are some men so intimidated by us? Have you ever heard that? Men are intimidated by women?
Yes.
Why? Why do you think men are intimidated by... No, let me ask it differently. Why do you think that men would be intimidated by women?
Because they don't want to be let down.
All right. And usually you hear this, you mentioned that you're in college. Usually you hear this as women go higher up the ladder, whether the corporate ladder or the educational ladder, they start to feel like men are intimidated by their success. Right? Do you agree or disagree with that?
By personal, things that have happened in my life, I don't feel that way because my dynamic is different, but I see it a lot. I think it's an egotistical kind of thing because some men don't want to think that their woman is above them, so to speak, if they're making more than them.
I love those words because I find them interesting. It's an egotistical thing. It's usually a technique or a tactic used to shame men just for
Right.
having their feelings and their emotions, the same things that women ask them to have. You said, I mean, you to an extent, and we didn't get to process that a little bit. But if we were to do it, say for instance, you and your husband are laying in bed, and there's a knocking outside, right? There's a knocking outside. There's rustling in the trees. You want to? You believe
I
in
am
equality?
looking at him.
You are
I
looking
am
at
looking
him
at him,
because
definitely.
you want him to be the protector.
And his instinct as a man is going to be that he should go check it out.
And his natural instincts should be that he should go check it out.
Should be.
Should
True.
be. But what if, I mean, he's leaning into all the feminist theories now that says we're just as equal, we're the same, and we're interchangeable. Couldn't you be the protector?
Mm. Both of us can go then.
No,
If
no,
it's
no,
equal,
no.
if we're saying it's equality, then
Okay, fine. Let's
you go,
explore that.
I walk behind you.
Let's explore that. You're saying equality, you're leaning into it because, I mean, you don't want to throw your
I
sisters
don't
under the
fully
bus.
agree with the equality thing.
You don't
I'm not on the
fully
side
agree.
of the equality thing.
You said fully. What are the parts you do agree with?
No, there are certain things.
Like what?
Because if both of us are working, you cannot expect me to do everything.
Why are you working?
Because, the world that we're living in now, we have to level things out a little bit.
Level things out
Yeah,
a
it's
little
not
bit?
the way how life is back in the day again.
Why not? What makes it different now?
It's modern times. Stuff have evolved. That's
Like
not
what?
the way of life anymore.
Why
Women
not?
work now. We have a voice now. Well, we always had a voice, but now we're being heard.
You've always had a voice and you're always heard. Remember I asked you, if there's a patriarchy and men were oppressing women, why would we invent chivalry? Where we celebrate and elevate women.
That's to a certain extent.
All right, so let's explore it. You say it's modern times now, and so this is a matter of necessity? You have to
Right,
work.
because, most times the men need help.
Most times, but no,
Yeah,
men don't need help.
financially.
Men don't need help.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I'm absolutely certain of
They're
that.
being very masculine over there.
Yes.
They're
because
not
I'm a
leaning
man.
into
That-
none
that
of your
works.
feminine.
No,
No, no,
yes,
I don't
there's only
believe
two
in that
states of
at all.
masculinity for me, right? There's hard masculinity, which is men, how we interact with men, right? And that's competition and violence. And then
Okay.
there's soft masculinity, the ones that we turn to women, still letting them know that we're the protectors, but we are still the leaders.
I accept that the men are the protectors. I accept that the men are the providers.
Uh-huh.
I accept that.
What
I
about,
do.
What about the other thing?
What?
Leaders.
I accept that as well.
All right. Good. All right, great. So that brings us to our question then. What if your husband said to you, I don't want you to work. I want you to stay home and take care of our kids.
Uh, I'm raising children. I want my children to understand that they can stand on their own 2 feet
What?
until God sends that person that is going to be your life partner.
Yes.
And you and them can have that conversation and come to an agreement. If you guys are going to decide that one is going to be the homemaker, either the man or the woman, it happens. It happens.
Oh, so you don't believe in male leadership then?
I do, but it
Then how
happens. You
come you're
still have
making
to
a
be
decision?
open-minded. You have to be open-minded. There are men who prefer to be homemakers.
Is that the one that you want?
No.
Oh.
No, but it's not. I'm talking in a general sense.
But you're giving advice here. You're talking to women, you're talking to your children,
right.
and you're sending them down a path that is contrary to the one that you choose.
Because I'm not telling them to be me.
Why not?
I'm allowing you to be able to choose for yourself, but I'm guiding you. You're seeing me and your dad. You saw us the whole time when you're growing up. We're an example.
Yes.
But usually you have more than one example in life, right?
Sure.
Yes, I'm not going to lead you down a path and tell you have to do it. Most of the time when people tell people that they have to do something, what do?
No, but we're not talking about have to here. We're talking about giving them a specific direction that is ideal.
Yes.
So here's the thing. Same house, but this time the house is on fire. You know the house is on fire. Your children want to walk into the house. What do you do?
No, you cannot go in there. You will die. No.
So you're actively stopping them from doing something that would put them in danger.
Right.
All right. So what do you think?
So you think it's dangerous for a man to be a homemaker?
That's what I'm going to explore with you,
Okay.
right?
Alright.
When you see successful relationships, right? When you see healthy relationships, what do they look like? Do they look like these feminist relationships where the man is the homemaker and
No.
Cash?
I am not contradicting myself, I know you're thinking that. I'm not. But I'm just saying that other persons, it works for them. For me, it won't work. But I'm not going to crush another person who's decided to live their lives a different way.
But these are your children. You're
I
going
would
to
advise.
actively
I
send
would
your children
advise my
into the burning
daughter. I
building.
have both. I have a
Yes.
son and a daughter.
Yes.
I would advise my son to be the strong man, and I would advise my daughter to be the feminine lady. But
But
if I see things going a certain kind of way, I'm gonna be, my dear, what is the reason why you're choosing to be a CEO and you're asking your husband to stay at home with the kids? She's going to explain to me what they have decided. And I will have to take it's not my life.
it's not your life.
It's not.
But children usually do what we tell them.
And they will see their whole lives that their father and they will see that their whole life. So what do you think they're going to step towards?
And I'm glad you mentioned that because children do what we do, not necessarily what we say.
Right.
So they're watching the things that
They're
are happening
watching.
behind the scenes. And so while we may be telling them to be feminine and we're telling them to be these things, what are the other signals that we're sending? If we're sending other signals that say, yeah, but, or this, but only this far, we might be sending them dual
You're
messages.
absolutely correct, yes. And then you're confusing them.
And so if she does become a CEO, who told her that?
I'm going to tell her that you can be anything that you want to be in life. So should I tell her that you can be anything to a certain extent because you don't want your husband to feel bad?
To feel, again, I love the coloring when we see these things, right? To feel bad, right? So is it him just feeling bad or does it impact the success of the relationship?
So, this is where we're going to argue.
Let's do that.
So
What are we
you're
what are we
telling
arguing
me
about?
that I should not empower my child, my
Empower. Beautiful
daughter.
word. Mhm.
I should not empower her to be anything in this life that she wants to be.
That's a great question. I love when we frame it in that way in terms of being anything that we want to be, right? Because while you can be anything that you want to be, you can't be everything that you want to be.
True.
So everything has an opportunity cost. You have to choose a path and then walk down that path. You want to be a doctor, that's going to take time. And so you can't necessarily be a lawyer while you're being a doctor afterwards, right? So you have to make choices. And so here, when we're telling your daughter that she can be anything that she wants to be, you're sending her down a particular path. So that anything could be, sure, you can be the CEO, you can be the boss, you can be all those things. But what comes with that?
You'll have to give up something.
There we go. Many times when women spend an extended period going to school, then that means they usually sacrifice family.
That
You
is
spend a
true.
long time in school, so you can't have a baby while you're in school and whatnot. So
Relationships get squandered along the way.
there you go. There you go. Which means not necessarily having the best of marriages, those kinds of things, and these challenges happening. So when you're looking at that path, when you're looking at those instructions, then this is what you also have to calculate. Because when we say, yes, man, you can be anything that we want to be, we're usually saying you can be everything, and then that's usually a lie. So when walk down that path and go, this is what mommy told me I could do.
It's a gray area because I can empower my son and no one has a problem with that.
Great question. Great point. You can empower your son to do what?
To be everything, right?
To be everything?
Yeah, anything. Okay,
He
so
wants to play with Barbie?
no, that's not. We're not even going to go over to that side. But if I empower my son, if he strives and becomes, or when he, because I want to speak things into existence.
There we go. Well
and
done.
and becomes the most successful. He builds a multi-million-dollar company. He
Yes.
invents something that the world didn't even know that they needed.
Yes.
Right? He does these amazing things.
Yes.
His wife stays with him and he has beautiful kids and they grow up and his wife is understanding and she's nurturing and
Absolutely.
all of the things. What if she had to give up her dreams so that he could be what he wants to be?
What's her dream?
We don't know. Suppose she was the one who they went to engineering school together and both of them had these dreams.
So she had dreams of being a man.
No, she had dreams of developing something and inventing something and doing all of these things.
Absolutely. Those are wonderful dreams.
Right.
What did we say about those dreams?
Yeah, just as you said, the woman then sometimes if you decide that you're going to strive as high as you want to, you have to give up some things.
Yes.
Men don't necessarily have to go through that, right?
Of course we do.
Not that much.
All right, let me give you the parallel, right? Because sometimes we try to equate them because we're trying to say that men and women are equal, but we're not.
It's true.
I can never have a baby.
It's very
No matter
hard.
how I strive. No matter how hard I strive, right? That's never going to be my gift. And so when a man goes and strives, he's doing what he was designed to do. And the only thing that he can do, like you said, you want a man who does what? Protect and provide. We're given bigger muscles so that we can go out and work hard and bring in, right? You're given softer features, softer figure, softer mindset, right? So that you can stay home and take care. Because together, we are awesome.
Right.
Individually, we are okay. Together, we are awesome, right? And that together we are awesome points us to, or points us away from inefficiency. You think, you kind of touched on it a little bit, or you think it's efficient for both you and your husband to be out working?
Yes.
Why?
Because we are building our lives together. We have come to a decision and we understand the roles in our marriage and we work together as two parts to become
Yes.
a whole.
So let's explore this. Do you think he could be more successful, the same, or less successful if he had you fully behind him, pushing him towards the dreams for the family?
Maybe. But we're not going to know what that looks like.
We're not going to know?
We're not going to know,
Why
no,
not?
because, okay, I'm not going to say that things can never happen, but the way how modern society forces us to live, we have to step out of what we consider as the norm and go into what we know works for us. It forces women to work.
It forces women to work?
Yes.
All right, let me ask you this.
It's the life out there, it's hard.
Okay, so let's blame it on
the
life.
woman has to help
Let's blame it
sometimes.
on life then.
Poor
Women have
men
to help
can't do it on their own all the time.
So let's blame it on life and explore this. Your husband comes into some money.
Right.
He doesn't need you to work anymore. And he says, baby, I need you to stay home.
Can I run my own business?
So is it still life forcing you to work? Or is
I
something
need to
going
feel
on
progressive.
inside?
I need to feel like I'm doing. The kids are going to go to school. The house is going to be kept. Then I'm going to feel useless. What am I
Useless?
going to do?
What do you mean?
I want to do something. I want to
course.
help. I want to add. I want to help.
Women-
Even if I'm not needed, I just want to add.
All right, let's add. Because
Right.
let's explore what the additions may look like. Women often say that being a mother is a full-time job. Would you agree or disagree?
I don't agree. I don't agree.
So it's not a full-time
fulfilling,
job.
but not to. I feel like there's more that you can do. than
No,
being a
I
mother.
mean full-time job as in it takes a lot out of you.
It takes a lot out of you. Yes. But at a certain time, you just have some downtime. So much more time than the women who go out there and work.
Okay. Awesome. So let's explore that
Because the kids have to go. I mean,
Of
if you're homeschool, then I understand. You have a whole day. You have a job.
yes,
But
because
then you drop off the kids. Oh, let's talk about a regular day. You wake up, you make breakfast for the kids and the husband. Get everybody off, send them off to school and work. Clean up the house. Go shopping. Do laundry. 1:30.
yes.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Great question, which brings us back to what we started off with was as what does your man enjoy? What does your husband enjoy?
Me.
All right?
Yeah, he just enjoys our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
He enjoys our communication. He enjoys time that we spend with our kids. He enjoys vacation. You know, all of these things
So I'll
that
say
we
this to you.
enjoy as couples.
The list that you've given are the things that you enjoy.
Yes.
So what does your husband, him, by himself, actually enjoy?
Peace. Yes.
And what does that look like? How do you bring peace to him?
Give him space sometimes. Yes. You know, just allow him to be alone with his thoughts sometimes.
And that's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
And don't be nagging.
And don't be nagging.
No.
Double underline that and put it in bold and then right?
Some women are nagging, I have to say. Sometimes I'm nagging, but I try my best not to be as much because, I know.
All right. So we kind of have an appreciation of the peace and we have an appreciation for not the nagging. But let's see if we can unpack the peace a little bit more. And if your husband wants to message in or call in, I mean, let him jump in because this is how we save marriages, right? What do you think peace actually looks like for him?
Then everything around him is not chaotic.
Not chaotic.
So he can close his eyes and his bills are paid and his wife and his children are healthy. He is healthy. His mother is healthy. His everything around him is just going well.
Interesting. Nice. The things that you mentioned are things that he accomplishes. I'm trying to get you to help me to appreciate how you give him peace.
How I give him peace?
Yes.
Well, all of these things that I just said, I was the one who made those things happen.
Okay, I'm gonna take that on face value and say he
Right.
brought in the resources and you organized those things
Exactly.
so you fit
Because
in.
you can have a man bringing everything and the woman doesn't know how to decipher and fix all the things that are supposed to be fixed.
Nice. So I appreciate you, and I'm sure your husband is appreciating the contribution that you've made to his life. That is not financial, because he doesn't need that part, right?
Really and truly, no. But still. It's an addition. It helps.
No.
It adds to savings.
Actually, it's a distraction, and it's a distraction because rather than the word submission, what does that mean to you?
Submission is adhering to what you would call what do you call the person that is in charge of the submissive? The dominant.
Yes.
Yeah.
In this
Adhering
case,
to
the
what they have
leader
to
in the
say.
relationship, the
Right.
husband. Is that an easy word for you or a difficult word?
What? The leader?
Yes.
No.
The submission word.
No. It's not.
What's your
But
husband's name?
my husband?
Yes.
His name is Tariq.
Tariq, let us know, just in case she's on here giving us stories. But
No.
I can gather from how you're reacting to me that submission is a little bit of a challenge for you.
Because of the way how we're taught. Now we're under.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because despite the fact that your husband is a wonderful man and you enjoy him, you're still having challenges with it because of what someone else taught you.
Yeah. I mean, women that are from a different culture, they don't have problems with it because they don't have anybody telling them anything. It's just their way of life.
Yes.
Right.
Like their mothers may tell them that it's okay to be the boss and don't submit to a man.
That's not going to be what they hear, right?
That's not, you sure?
Not in those
Because that's what they're going to
areas.
hear out in the world. They're going to hear from the feminists that, hey, you shouldn't, a man can't talk to you. They're going to be a Jada Smith. No. The only person who can talk to me is me.
Jada Smith.
Jada Pinkett.
Oh,
she
because
was,
she's not going to take her husband's last name.
yeah, she was clear enough to tell us that they're not married. They haven't been married. So, you know, let me try to see if I can run through this list. That I'm going to jump to number 2 real quick because we kind of touched on number 1 a little bit. We were having a little bit of women being intimidated by men. No, we're not intimidated. No, we're not. And I'll tell you this, right? Men interact with men in a particular way because we understand that men are competitive. We compete with each other. No man on the planet wants to compete with his wife.
They don't want to, but they do something.
No, we don't.
Okay.
We don't because the woman may feel like she's competing, just like you said. Yeah, man, you want to empower your daughter to take on masculine roles, but you were careful to say you're not empowering your son to do that.
I'm not empowering my son to do what?
To take on feminine roles, play with Barbie. No, we're not even going
I'm
down
not
that road.
empowering my daughter to take on masculine
Of course
roles.
you are.
But I'm telling.
You're telling her
What-
she can be the engineer, she can be the boss, she can
So
be all
I'm
of those
telling
things.
my daughter that she's not supposed to be ambitious. Is that what you're
Say
saying?
again?
I'm supposed to tell
I
her not to be
love it.
ambitious.
Of course.
I'm
Is
supposed
that
to
what you
tell
hear
my
me saying?
daughter not to be, but you're telling me that a young lady
Yes.
or a mother
Yes.
empowering her daughter to
Yes.
strive to be a professional
Yes.
or an intellect. That is me telling her to be masculine.
Great. So let's explore that. What is she trying to accomplish by getting there? What do you actually connect? What do you get at the end
She
of
wants
that
to reach
tunnel?
her full potential.
Her full potential?
Yes.
And what is that?
I want to say that your idea of a full potential for a woman is what? To be a homemaker?
My idea for the full potential, what we are designed to do, you said you're a woman of faith. My idea for us as a family unit is, or what is our command? Be fruitful and multiply. To create the next generation, to prepare them for what they were designed to do. How we accomplish that is by leaning into our individual roles. Because otherwise, we may be giving them mixed messages, as we established earlier, and causing them confusion. So, and we also talked about efficiency. Is it efficient for both of us to be going to work all day and then coming back at the end of the evening exhausted, no one to be able to recharge each other? No, it's not. So efficiency is in the design that we are originally given, which is man goes out and work hard so that he can provide. Why? Because when you are home and taking care of the house and making sure the kids, transmitting our family values, and that's one of the things that we won't go into today, but we've lost in our society is family values. And that's because we've broken the chain between how family values used to be transmitted. Family values used to be transmitted by the one who is doing the nurturing.
Okay.
And that nurturing was, you heard the expression, the hand that rocks the cradle rule the world. So the most powerful person in the world was the woman who was training the child in the way that he would grow. But we've given up that responsibility to where? To the educational system out on the streets,
So
where
I'm
the
listening
government
to you.
is in charge.
I'm hearing you.
Yes.
But I am taking out some of the things that you're saying, because are you saying that you're against women being educated?
I'm not against women being
So
educated.
to a certain extent then.
No, not even to a certain extent.
So
To recognize that opportunities have costs. And so if a woman wants to go out and be a CEO, we live in the 2023, she can absolutely do that. She can invent, she can do whatever it is that she wants to do. But recognize that if she wants a family and she wants to build relationships, that is not going to be helpful and useful towards that end. Just like if a man wants the same thing, he wants a family, he wants heritage, he wants those things, him sitting at home and playing video games and becoming 300 pounds and whatnot is not going to be useful toward that end either. Him sitting at home and playing with dollies is not going to be useful to that end either. So for both genders, there are pathways to success.
so where did the problem come up?
The problem came up when we decided that we don't have genders anymore. The problem came up when we told ourselves that we're absolutely equal and interchangeable. The problem came up when we decided that you're just the same as your husband and he's just the same as you, so you can switch roles. He can bear the kids and you can go out and work. But does that lead to happiness? They did a study with women to explore what they said versus what actually happens in reality. So they gave them some pictures on the computer and then gave them a button to press whether this is attractive, yes or no. But secretly, another part of the study, they also put some sensors on their bodies so they could check sweat dilation, pupil dilation, those kinds of things. And women found themselves telling men one thing, so this is attractive, but because that's what society tells them is attractive, but physically responding to something else. So, as you've said, and you've been truthful here, you respond to that man who's a protector, that man who's a provider, and that man who's a leader.
Right.
But you tell yourself, or you tell him that, no, we're not equal. We're equals.
But okay.
Can you be equals and a leader at the
No,
same
you
time?
can't. No, you can't. You cannot. But my thing is, what about that woman that, or that young girl, or that college person, the young girl between her 18,
Yes.
19, 20, 21? She has not yet found her partner, her life partner.
Yes.
Right? So she's literally just going through trying to decide or figure out who she is.
Yes.
Right? So she has found that she has these capabilities to be more than what she ever thought that she could be. And then she ends up falling in love eventually. This guy finds her, they find each other. And now she has to take on the gender role of being the nurturer, the hand that rocks the cradle.
Yes.
And her whole life, she's never going to be fulfilled, no matter what happens.
And I'm glad you've positioned it that way, because for some reason we've got it in our heads that the only way to be fulfilled is to be the protector, to be the provider, to be the priest. So you're essentially saying men are fulfilled, but women are not.
Well, when the children grow up and they go, I understand you're still going to have the marriage, but when
Yes.
they grow up and they go, what do you have?
You still have the marriage. That's a big
Yes,
thing.
it's a big thing, but you know that you had the capability to become a surgeon to save lives. But you took a step back to raise your children
Why do we
and
call it a
nurture
step
your
back?
marriage. You really did.
Why?
Because before you met this man, you knew that you could do it.
Okay, great.
But you took a step
knew.
back.
You also knew something else.
You also knew that your role
No,
is
not
to be
even.
the
You also
nurturer.
knew that you have other capabilities that men don't have. To be the mother, to be the person who continues on the lineage, to be the person who
But now
brings
we're
life.
seeing that women can be the mother and go out.
No, we're
and
not
be,
seeing that actually.
It's there.
The statistics are telling us that that model is failing. The statistics are telling us that when women try to be the mother and the boss, a couple of things happen. Once she starts educational metrics, when she gets to a particular education level, now she outshines him. We have marital discord.
Right.
When she makes a particular, so when she starts making more money than you, I think the average is about more than 40% than him, we start having challenges again. Why? Because women are hypergamous. And hypergamous means women want men who make more money than them. Yes or no?
Yes.
Women want men who are taller than them. Yes or no? Usually about 6 feet.
That's not true.
Really?
It's not. Okay, all right.
I mean,
I'm not saying that we're not attracted to men that are taller, but there's women who are attractable a lot too. Statistics are out there.
Actually, the statistics are women
tall, dark,
over.
and handsome. It's just
So you
something
know.
I know, but still.
But
I
still, you don't want to
agree.
admit it.
I don't agree.
Is your husband taller than you?
Yes. But that is not what attracted me to him.
Of course not. Of course not. I'm sure there are some short kings out there who are just as attractive as he was, but he
had more.
Okay, so he was taller, makes more money than you, and he had even more. So you're saying your standards are even higher than most women?
No, it's just that there is things that he did that.
Exactly.
You know?
So you had to demonstrate competence. Not so not
Right.
just the height that comes naturally, not just the income, but he had to also demonstrate competence in other areas that helped him to be more attractive to
I
you.
understand that this show leans more to the masculine side. I understand that you're very, very passionate about
Yes.
it. But I have to stand up for the females.
Sure, stand
Because what I'm saying, you want that fulfillment feeling, right? That time when I was alone before I met my life partner.
Yes.
I knew what I could be. I don't want to give up the fact that I want to be a mom, but I also don't want to give up the fact that I can help thousands or hundreds of people. So I decided that I'm going to take literally a step back. It's true. The woman takes a step back and you adhere to older or past
Yes. Traditions.
right? And you decide that you're going to be a homemaker, you're going to do all of these things every single day when you're alone, when husband is at work and the kids are out and all of the chaotic things are smoothed
Settled.
out. You're going to think about that dream that you had before you met, before you did all of these things.
Yes.
You want to achieve.
And
It's human nature, woman or man.
it can be seen as human nature. It can also be seen as human programming. And that programming says if you've been told that the only thing that can bring you fulfillment in life is to climb mango trees. And for some reason, if you don't climb a mango tree, you feel like you've been shortchanged, you've been shorted. But here we are, we're recognizing that if your true purpose, if you're really aligned with God, your true purpose is to create life and to give that life all that it needs to flourish. And so if we see that as our highest purpose, then we no longer just pay lip service to the idea that being a mother is a wonderful thing. We actually believe it. And that believing means, what do I actually need to do to make my children successful? To give them all that they need to take on a world that I haven't seen? To take on the possibilities and to take on the challenges that they will face when I'm not here? And that also comes from making sure that you have all the resources that you need, which means the man. And men have been doing this since the beginning of time. You're pregnant, you're laying in the cave, you and the child needs to be fed. That man is scared. There are lions and tigers and dangerous things running up and down outside. But guess what he has to do?
Go out there.
He has to go out there and get it done.
But you realize that when the woman gained the strength and started going out there with him, it was easier, right?
Actually, no.
It was.
The same argument may be made from women in the military, but you know what actually happens? Masculine instinct takes over, and he's focused on protecting you as opposed to you protecting each other. Because guess what? You are the weaker sex. You are the weaker gender because that wasn't the role that was designed
We're the
for you.
weaker gender by
Physicality, yes.
physicality.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that means if he falls down, if he gets shot, you can't throw him over your shoulder and run him to safety.
I mean, there are instances it can
No,
happen.
because they've actually had to lower the physical standards for female soldiers. They don't do the same things, and same thing for even the police, because these things happen, and we want to make our gender quotas or whatnot. So we do these things, and we reduce their physical requirements for certain jobs.
Right.
But that doesn't change what the job requires.
So what about men that are going into more feminine roles, like men that are nurses?
Nurses, yes.
Yeah.
And
What
again,
about
same principle. Same principle here is a man, a woman, they can choose whatever they want to be, but understand what the landscape looks like. So a woman can choose to be a boss and a man can choose to be a nurse, but you understand what that outcome is going to look like. That nurse is not going to be attractive to you.
a male nurse?
Yes.
Why? No. There's no problems with male nurse.
Of course, and you can't say that on the show, but is your husband a male nurse?
No, but that's not the reason.
What's the reason?
No, I'm not
If
going
I'm-
to agree to that.
No,
There
okay,
is
okay,
a
let me
lot of male nurses
rephrase
that are
it.
attractive,
Let me
and
rephrase
women are
it
attracted to them,
So that
and other nurses are married to them.
let me rephrase it in a place
Right.
where it makes it more palatable for you, because I understand as a woman you need to be politically correct. You work for the government, these things happen, right? And so to use it the way that you used it, if he's leaning more into his feminine nature, is he attractive to you?
It's good to be around a man that is understanding, and it's easier to speak to when they have adhered to their feminine nature.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I want you to think about that for a second.
I'm
I'm giving you an
thinking.
opportunity to talk, think about Tariq, and think about you laying in bed with him, and there's a knocking at the door, there's some noise, and he goes, "Baby, I'm scared."
You're taking it all the way down there. But imagine being able to speak to a man, and both of you can tap into that deeper conversation, and it's not about you being and I'm being it's just both of us having a conversation,
Yes.
an intellectual conversation where there's nobody looking down on the other one. We're
But
just
it's not looking down. Why is it looking down? Is it when you are having a conversation, an intellectual conversation with your boss? Is your boss looking down at you?
they will feel superior to you no matter what, because they're going to say that there's
because he's better than you.
who
Your husband.
okay.
Yeah, he makes more money than you. He does more things than you. He's bigger than you. He's stronger than you. If a lion attacked you, he is going to be better than you. There are some things that you're better. He can't have a baby. You're better than him in that regard, but for the
Okay.
most part, for all the things that you mentioned before, he's better than you at those things.
Right. But
So he is superior in that regard. He's a better man than you because you're designed to be a man.
okay, I get it, but still, I think that
But-
there's a gray area.
But just like your boss, while your boss is superior to you because they've done more, they've accomplished more, whatever it is, you can still have an intellectual conversation with them, right?
Yes.
Right? And so what that allows you to recognize is that you don't have to remove hierarchies to be able to have conversations.
So if a woman stays home and is a homemaker, does that feed into the man's ego? It does.
Feed into his
Yeah,
ego?
it does.
What do you
don't
mean?
think so? Because he is responsible. He's the one that is bringing in the finances, right? So a man takes advantage of that in some cases.
Really?
You know, yes.
Does your husband take advantage of
No,
it? So-
but I'm not talking about my
Of course you are.
husband. I'm
But
not.
you keep introducing these cases, situations that you're not aware of them happening.
I
You
am
don't see
aware
them
of them
happening.
happening. I see them happening.
Are they the majority of cases?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, because.
So you're saying most men are abusing women?
if-
That's what you're saying?
But it's not abuse in a physical kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of can be emotional abuse as well. Because let me tell you something, if a man comes home and men argue about it with women all the time, that's how domestic violence happens in most cases, because usually it stems from problems in the home like money. The man comes home and he's the sole provider.
You know that when it comes to domestic violence statistics, a couple of things are happening. One, the numbers are 33% male, 25% female, which means the disparity is not that wide.
No.
And two, say again?
No.
No. In general, across generations, and you actually have higher incidences of domestic violence in which cases? In lesbian relationships. So women are interacting with women.
Because there's the woman, there's in lesbian relationships, there's still a woman who decides to take on the role of a man. Because there's still gender roles in these relationships.
And I guess what I'm trying to draw your attention to is your propensity to point to the man as the problem when it comes to...
No, I'm giving you a scenario that you didn't finish, right?
No.
The man comes home and he's a sole provider, right? I'm realizing, based on cases that we're seeing, that kind of triggers the man in a sense, because he is going to argue and say, well, you need to make sure that you keep the light down. You're not paying for anything in here. Why are the lights in the house on? You're not the one that said all the food in here. Why you have to put more than one needs? You're not doing this. You know, he literally belittles the woman. That pushes a woman now to go and get her own, because she wants to feel like she's adding, so that no man can stop her. That's why sometimes women step away from that role of just being at home, because they want to stand up for themselves.
Alright, so let's explore that. Sure, so we can explore that. Are you still hearing me? I don't feel like you're hearing me. Can you hear me on the mic here? What? All good? DJ Mike and DJ Elise on the ones and twos, helping us to keep things going right here in the studio, watching the Wrecking Train on YouTube, listening to us live on Flashpoint Media, Flashpoint Radio, in the studio with Cash with a K. We're talking about gender relationships, we're talking about gender roles, and we're talking about the male-female dynamic and what that means. And you just introduced an idea that says, hey, men take advantage of situations because they're the sole breadwinner, and that may lead women to want to go out and make their own. Part of the challenge there, well, we're going to find out about that right after this break. You're listening to the Wrecking Trade on Flashpoint Media. Mikey, take it away.
Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men find their place in the modern world. Through engaging interviews with experts and members of the community, we provide a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like as an example for boys and girls. Our mission is to provide a voice for men, to help them navigate the challenges that they face and provide hope for a brighter future. So tune in and join the conversation on The Wrecking Trade. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of men and boys in the Cayman Islands. Welcome to The Wrecking Trade, the radio show that provides a platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men find their place in the modern world. Through engaging interviews with experts and members of the community, we provide a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like as an example for boys and girls. Our mission is to provide a voice for men, to help them navigate the challenges that they face and provide hope for a brighter future. So tune in and join the conversation on The Wrecking Trade. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of men and boys in the Cayman Islands. Welcome to The Wrecking Trade, the radio show that provides a platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men find their place in the modern world. Through engaging interviews with experts and members of the community, we provide a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like as an example for boys and girls. Our mission is to provide a voice for men to help them navigate the challenges that they face and provide hope for a brighter future. So tune in and join the conversation on The Wrecking Trade. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of men and boys in the Cayman Islands. The radio show that provides a platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men find their place in the modern world. Through engaging interviews with experts and members of the community, we provide a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like as an example for boys and girls. Our mission is to provide a voice for men to help them navigate the challenges that they face and provide hope for a brighter future. So tune in and join the conversation on The Wrecking Trade. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of men and boys in the Cayman Islands. Welcome to The Wrecking Trade, the radio show that provides a platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men find their place in the modern world. Through engaging interviews with experts and members of the community, we provide a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like as an example for boys and girls. Our mission is to provide a voice for men to help them navigate the challenges that they face and provide hope for a brighter future. So tune in and join the conversation on The Wrecking Trade. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of men and boys in the Cayman Islands.
Lasco food drink is everything you need to support your family's nutrition. Have it at home or take it with you every day for all-day energy. Lasco food drink has your favorite flavors, including low sugar options, so you sacrifice nothing. Packed with protein, calcium, vitamins, and minerals, including iron. Lasco food drink is the winning taste and nutrition for your family. Nutrition never tasted so good. Also, try Lasco La Soy as a lactose-free alternative.
Welcome to The Wrecking Trade, the radio show that provides a platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men find their place in the modern world. Through engaging interviews with experts and members of the community, we provide a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like as an example for boys and girls. Our mission is to provide a voice for men to help them navigate the challenges that they face and provide hope for a brighter future. So tune in and join the conversation on The Wrecking Trade. Together, we can make a difference in the lives of men and boys in the Cayman Islands. Welcome back to The Wrecking Trade right here on Flashpoint Media and YouTube and wherever else you may be consuming this podcast. We've been having a wonderful conversation with Cash right here in Studio, Cash with a K, of course, and we've been able to do some back and forth. Remember to hit that like button. Remember to hit the subscribe button. That is the way that YouTube tells the algorithm that what we do here matters. And so you can help us. It doesn't cost a thing. Just hit that like button and help us out. All right. So let's go back to the conversation. And before we went off, we're trying to establish the roles, and I think you were trying to get at the idea of women feeling fulfilled by being able to contribute to society, by being able to do something physical outside of the home. And the connection I wanted to make is that for some reason we've been told that that part of woman, that part of femininity is not valuable. And I don't know if you did you watch the movie Barbie? Right? There's a scene in it that most people missed. At the beginning, when Barbie comes down, there's someone who's trying to wave at her and she's trying to get her attention, and everybody just like, we don't talk to that one. You remember who that was?
I did not catch the first part of the movie. I was late. But I think I saw when she was coming from the top.
Yes.
The adverts.
Yes. Right? So that was pregnant Barbie. And at the beginning of the movie, the premise is that women must smash this role that men have given them to be mothers and wives and break out of that role so that they can become engineers and Supreme Court justices and all of these things.
It's a very feminist movie.
There you go, right? And so the message is that women who lean into that
are not real women now in 2023, because women need to be progressive and achieve and contribute and all these things. And so women struggle, like yourself, they struggle with the messaging that they've been programmed to connect with. Yes, achievement, accomplishment, these things, and still wanting to be a mother because that's the design.
But what about the fact that men are having this thing about them as well, that they have a thing that women are supposed to work? Because there are many men now that are not agreeing
Yes.
to the fact that a woman is not supposed to contribute in a relationship or in a partnership. And if they are the sole providers, they will use that against the woman and let the woman feel inferior to them, so that woman feels defeated. That's why they go out there and try to create some kind of substance for themselves to stand on their own 2 feet.
I hear you saying that, and I can empathize with that thought. If men are not providing, you might feel, especially if they're forcing you or pressuring you to do things that seem to be outside of what the agreement or the relationship is, you might feel like, oh no, he wants me to be a provider. But in many cases, this is not the case. In many cases, the challenge that presents itself is women still want men to be protectors, providers, and priests, just like you said, but they're challenged to be traditional, because that's how that dynamic works. The dynamic works when the man provides, the man goes out, the man works, he does these things. There's expectations that you contribute on the other side of the equation, not to bring in money. But if that man goes out and then he still has to come home and cook his own meal,
Right.
then
But as I said before the break, that man goes out, he comes home and he finds a hot meal,
yes,
right? And he finds a kept home.
yes,
But a light is on in the laundry, and that angers him because
no.
he's the one that is fully responsible for everything financial.
So these, let me embrace it. It's not a distraction. It's a concern that women are going to have. And here's the message. Right? If the woman's domain is the house, no, not if. The woman's domain is the house. That means she's responsible for that.
Right.
That means if, and I mean, in our culture, we're familiar with this. If he wants to come home and tell you how to wash, he needs to stay in his lane.
Right.
Right? You're the one who's responsible for that, for the house. And so this is how the dynamic works. And so it reinforces the idea that when we blur the lines, we cause confusion.
But what about that man, even though it is his job to provide and to protect, and the woman gives him that platform to
Yes.
do all of these things that he's supposed to be doing?
She doesn't give it to him, but I'm hearing what you're
Okay,
saying. Yes.
in
She
this society
recognizes
that we're
his
in now,
authority,
yes, she recognizes his authority, and you allow him
Uh-huh.
or you adhere
Yes.
to the traditional demand.
See, see, you're
Right,
learning.
I am
Tariq,
listening.
there
I'm
you go.
listening, but
Yes.
and the man cannot handle it.
Good, excellent point. And here, and so part of the show, as I mentioned to you at the top of the show, is masculinity, accountability, and responsibility. In a world that tells women that they can be these boss babes and be all that they can be, the message is also telling men that they don't need to be men. And as a matter of fact, sometimes the message is reinforced that men who do want to be men, we call them toxic, right? And we say that and we put all of these labels on them that tells little boys that being a man is not acceptable. Being a man is not okay because women don't like that. And so when you get what you've created, women are not happy with it. Because what you've created, a man is walking up to you to open the door and I can get my own door.
Right.
Then why is he going to continue opening the door for you?
I'm seeing that you're putting the blame.
No. There's no
No,
blame here. There's no blame here. Let's qualify. Let's
I'm
qualify.
feeling a blame coming over on our side
Let's qualify.
as women.
Let's
you know?
qualify. What I'm saying here is that men have a responsibility.
Right.
And society's messaging, because men do contribute to, you see some men who are beating the feminist train and telling boys that they need to lean into femininity and causing confusion and disrupting homes. Right? Just like we're telling women. So there is no gender at fault in this equation. We're both
Right.
suffering. Relationships are suffering because we don't know what we're supposed to be and we don't know what we're supposed to do. And as you know, at your job, if everyone is trying to do everything, then nothing gets done.
I understand, yes.
So when we recognize who we are we recognize what we've been ordained to be, and we specialize, then the expression goes, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
You can supposed to be a thing.
Say again?
You may be born to be something.
Yes.
You have seen persons before be that.
Yes.
And the pressure, you don't become who you're supposed to be based on society's pressures.
Yes.
Many men out there, if right now every woman decides that yes, okay, we're going to take us literally
Yes.
take a step back and allow
Men, you hearing it?
and allow men to be
No, not allow.
and
lean into your role.
and lean into
Yes.
what
You
men
were
think
designed- no,
our
no,
roles
lean
are
into what you
supposed
were
to be.
designed
No,
to be.
lean into what is considered the traditional norms.
Uh-huh.
Do you think these men are going to be able to handle it?
Good. Let's explore
I don't
that.
think
let's,
so.
Let's explore it. And that's all right. That's all right. But let's explore, right? Back in the before times, in traditional times,
Right.
men recognized that in order for them to have sexual access, for them to create families, they had to do certain things before. So men would go off to war or go off to the seas and make money, come back, find a nice wife, settle down, and build a wonderful family. Yes?
Right.
Men are problem solvers. So in the age of after the 1960s, we invented birth control and feminism took free love, all of those things came into being, right? And so men looked at the landscape and said, hey, okay, you can drink milk without having to buy a cow. What did men do?
Oh, you want me to answer?
Sure. They went and drank milk,
Right.
right? So using your example then, if women decide that they were leaning in to femininity, what do you think men would do since we're problem solvers?
What, you step up to the plate?
That's exactly what happens. Men always step up to the plate.
Okay.
Yes. What we don't
I love
recognize
the belief
and
that you have, but you see, the way how you talk,
yes.
it's as if all men are just they're just perfect.
No, we're not.
No, I'm telling you, there's men that have psychological issues.
Absolutely. Like women.
The
Yes.
egotistical, they
Like women.
yes, and they are
So human beings.
they're human beings, and I understand that we want to say that women are supposed to lean into their norms or their roles, but men have stepped away from that as well, and maybe it's the monster that we created. But we have to also look at life as it is now
Yes.
and decide how we're going to maneuver, how we're going to get things to stabilize, because right now the world is chaotic.
Yes.
Things are not going the way that it's supposed to go.
Mm.
I'm not going to say that men are supposed to be a certain way and women are supposed to be a certain way in order for the world to go back to the way it's supposed to be. Because life has traveled since those times.
We've made other choices.
We have to decide now with what we have, how we can be able to balance things.
Great.
You understand?
Great.
And that balance doesn't mean a woman needs to stay home and
But
build
it
a
can.
home. It that was then.
But it can.
That was then.
No, so you're saying it can't.
I'm not saying it can't. I'm saying
Then
that.
say it.
No, I'm
But
not.
it can.
I'm not going to say that it can.
So
Because
you're sa-
I am not going to look at a woman and tell her that if you want to be an engineer, you need to stay home and don't be an engineer, because your job is supposed to be, you're not supposed to have ambitions to be a professional. You're supposed to have an ambition to nurture and rock the cradle, like what you said in the,
so
the
that
past
sounds
discussion.
so that sounds wonderful in theory, but let's explore this, because you seem to be having a challenge with just expressing the possibility. So I'm gonna frame it in a different way to see.
I don't want to see a world like that.
No, wait. So you're saying you don't want to see a world where a woman can be anything that she wants to be.
I want to see a world
Wait,
where a woman can
Be anything that she wants to be.
Yeah, I want to see a world where we can find a balance.
So let's take it step by step, and that's what sometimes we miss. Men have to take things step by step because we have to go through and figure things out.
Women can do a lot of things at once.
There you go. We don't multitask as well. So let's explore that, right?
Right.
So you don't want to see a world where a woman can be anything that she can be.
I want to see a world where a woman has the right
To be anything that she
to
can be.
choose the life that she wants.
And be anything that she can be.
Yes.
Including being a stay-at-home wife.
Yes, definitely.
So she can be that.
Yes.
Okay.
If
So
that
that's
is
all I was
what you
asking.
want.
Sure.
If that is the life that you want, I don't want a woman to feel ashamed because she wants to be a doctor. I don't want a woman to feel ashamed because she chooses to be a professional and a mother at the same time. You understand? You can gain You can gain that fulfillment. You can.
In both,
You can. But you have to figure out a way to balance your life.
I thought we established at the beginning that hey, you can be anything that you want to be, but you can't be all things.
No.
Everything has a
and,
cost.
And being able to be a professional and a mom, that's not everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
It's not everything.
It's not everything.
What usually happens in those situations?
What usually happens in
Yes.
those situations is that persons didn't find that balance. If they found that balance, they would have been able to have that fulfilled life that they're supposed to have.
Sure. So again,
Right.
in theory, I can say that there's $1 million in a box buried somewhere in West Bay,
Right.
and we can try to find it. But if there's no $1 million in that box, your search would be in vain,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so here, if we keep telling women that this is achievable, but we keep seeing the results as failed, when do we learn and go, you know what? The Bible says this. We're trying to do something else. It hasn't worked. When do we say, I wonder if that Bible thing makes sense. I wonder if we should try that again.
I see what you're doing. I understand. But I think that the reason why we have some of these problems that we have is because persons did not plan correctly.
All right, all right.
And we need to come to an agreement.
So you're saying in all of history, when people are doing these things and they failed, even the people who've been millionaires, I mean, Jada Pinkett and Will Smith are
Oh,
having
Jada
challenges with
Pinkett.
their millions. Jeff Bezos couldn't figure it out with all of his billions. What's his name? Bill Gates couldn't figure it out with his billions.
Money is not everything. you know.
Money's not everything.
Money is not even half of it.
Money's not even a quarter
It's
of
a
it.
mindset.
Money's not even a fraction of it. But the
Right.
rich guys couldn't figure it out.
Right.
The poor guys are not figuring it out because, like you said,
Lean onto your faith, and the Bible preaches that a man is supposed to be the superior. I understand. But it also empowers the woman. There is women that God used in the Bible, and He didn't use them to be homemakers. He used them to lead.
He
and
used them to do what?
Yeah, there are women who led in the
Like
Bible
which
in
ones?
different ways. Ruth,
uh-huh.
right?
Okay, let's talk about Ruth. How did
Well,
Ruth
let's-
lead?
What do you mean? She used her femininity, of course.
There we go.
I know, but that's her power. That's the power of a woman. You
And
know.
that's what we're talking
We
about.
can
And that's what we're
persuade you
talking
and
about here.
seduce you into doing anything that we want
But
you to
that's
do.
what we're talking about here. We're
Right.
talking about women being able to lean into feminine power,
Mm-hmm.
but instead we keep leaning away from feminine power into masculine power. And so that's the message that we're trying to position here.
But
And this
who
is
told
for
us-
both genders. This is for both genders, that men have to get back to the place where they can lean into masculinity. And it's not
Mm.
okay. I don't want men to be ashamed to be men, because that's where we live now. Men have to
No.
go, I'm a man, quietly. No. Men, it's okay for us to be men. And women, it's okay for you to be women.
It's attractive to us when a man is masculine.
There you go.
It is
Then
attractive.
stop telling them to be women. All right, let me ask you these things really, really quickly, because we're
Yes.
almost out of time, and
Yes.
we've hinted at this all evening and we haven't gotten there yet. So I want to see if they resonate with you. Let's start with the top of the tail. Men say men say women don't seem as fun. Black women don't seem as fun. Why would they think that?
Because black women have a harsh demeanor at times.
She said it, not me, right? It says
It's the truth.
fun
It's
can
the
take a
truth.
back seat when we're fighting to pay bills, continue our education, or make more for ourselves. And so we give up on fun because we're striving, we're battling, we're fighting for all of these things. You said it, you connected with it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. The tougher and rougher.
Yeah.
Right. Number 3 says we look like we can't be bothered.
It depends, you know. Just
So-
like what we said in the beginning.
We
The
walk
way
around-
how that man approaches, your shoulders square, you're confident, you approach without that feeling of, you know, like you're lurking.
exactly.
Yes.
But here's the thing: before I approach, I'm observing, because we often say that men make the first move, but in many cases we don't. The first move is actually by the woman in her
Right.
feminine power. She signals
It's true.
through her demeanor, through her softness, that it is okay for him to approach. But if we're wearing the standing what we call it, that B face, we're gonna look like we can't be bothered,
Right. It's true.
right?
It's true.
And so
Sometimes women, we can be a little softer. It helps. It helps.
there we go. The other one says we don't offer enough support. Women don't offer enough support.
Sometimes you have to be tough for somebody to really go out there and push.
We just said that we need to be softer, and you're telling
I
us we need to
mean,
get back
you
into
have
being
to
tough.
understand who you're dealing with. It's a case by case situation.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah, let me tell you, women, in case you're listening to that, it's not a case by case
it's a
situation.
case by case
A
situation.
man wants to be a man. A man needs to be a man, and man is a man. And what a man needs from a woman is for her to be feminine. Because femininity, like nothing else, I mean, it's like one of the most powerful things in the world. Femininity actually helps to unlock and magnify masculinity. I'm saying this to a friend of mine, right? The most powerful thing that a woman can say to a man who's struggling, a man who's working, a man who's trying his best, is not to go, baby, you need to work harder, you need to fix it. No. No. And you know, that's how the look on your face. Not to try to correct him and fix him.
No.
It's to say, baby, I see you working hard. But guess what? I need to know what's going on. I trust you.
I believe
You've
in
got
you.
us. I believe in you.
Yes.
And guess what? Whatever the outcome is, whether we're successful and we move into a mansion, I love you. And if we need to live on a mango tree together, I love you.
Mango tree.
Mango tree,
All right.
right? It sounds difficult, but here's the thing, right? That trust,
Yeah.
that love, that belief, that faith unlocks in that man. It's like you're playing video games and he gets a power up.
So who empowers the woman?
Who empowers the woman?
Yeah.
Great question.
Thank
Who empowers
you.
the woman?
Yeah.
The man. How does he do that?
Uh-huh.
By being masculine.
Okay.
Right? Because that man, when go back to the situation that we talked about earlier, when they're lying in bed together and he leans over and said, "Baby, I'm scared," what he just signaled to her is that I can't trust you to protect me.
Okay.
So she's not empowered to trust his leadership.
Right.
So men, if you're listening to women and leaning into that, you're signaling to her that she shouldn't trust you. You're signaling to her that she needs to lead herself.
But just like how there's power within a man, there's
Yes.
power within the woman. as well.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
a man can also empower a woman,
Absolutely.
just like how the woman can empower
Yes,
the man.
man.
And it doesn't have to be through masculine energy.
Of course.
It does not have
Let
to
me tell
be.
you why.
You
Let
can
me-
speak to me softly too.
Absolutely. But
And
that's in
help
masculine
me.
energy too. Let me show you what that
Please,
looks like.
go deeper.
Let me tell you what that looks like, right? Masculine, I mentioned to you earlier that men have two masculine energies. We have
Right.
hard energy. That's how we interact with men. Men need to be capable of violence because that's how we signal
Hunter.
protection. And in our feminist world, we can say, no, we're above that. But guess what? The two most powerful people in the world, right? The US and Russia. They have big bombs, and that's how they manage their interactions. They know that they can press a button and they can end the world. And you know what that does? Because they've measured each other, because they recognize each other's power and capabilities, they now go, okay, fine, let's sit at the table and have a conversation.
Right.
Right? So a woman needs to know that she has that, because she needs to know she's protected from the rest of the world. But she also needs to know that he is still soft and that anger or that rage is not directed at her.
Right.
That same man who's capable of violence must be capable of giving her warmth, being able to hug her and hold her. And she knows she's protected, but she knows she's also treasured and cherished.
Right.
Right? So, but that's still masculinity. That's not femininity.
You're absolutely correct.
Right? Okay. Thank you very much.
In some aspects, I'm not agreeing with everything that you're saying. Please be sure to know that.
I hear you. I know Tariq
But
is still working.
I really do agree with you in that aspect.
There we go.
Yes.
There you go. So, Tariq, there you go. Be fully masculine. There's some things that she's not going to agree with, and that's okay. You know why? Because if she agreed with everything that you say, if she agreed with everything that you do, then guess what? Then you're not really leading.
No.
If you have to co-sign on everything that your husband says, then you're the one who's really in charge.
It's true. It's true. It's true. But as I said, and I stand by it, I understand that the show is finishing, and I want to make sure that my point is clear.
And your point is?
I want to make sure that my
Yes.
point is clear. Women
Yes.
can be more than homemakers.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's not
And-
your point. That's my
and-
point.
No, and my point is a woman can find that balance where they can go ahead and strive to be who they have studied and who they have worked hard to become and be an amazing mother who is present in their children's lives. You just need to find that balance. You have to spend a little bit more time and you have to do a little bit more work because it's not what you were born to do. Our gift as women is to nurture, but we can aim and strive to be more than just mothers. It's true.
Women can strive to be more than what they've been gifted or that they've been assigned to do. And
Right.
even though it hasn't been found, even though it hasn't been seen, you're saying they should still strive for it. Okay, fine. I mean, women,
What
if
do
you
you
want to
mean
take
it
bad
hasn't
advice,
been seen?
feel free to take bad advice.
Women have done amazing things.
Of course.
We
all the
have
time.
invented.
Sacrifices.
We have
Women have
saved.
made great
We have
sacrifices.
helped. We are helping.
Absolutely.
Yes, we're changing. And the world is changing. And we have to change with the world, or else we're going to be left behind.
No, 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 no,
Yes.
no. We walk together into the future. Let me put this one on you, right? Because your husband may enjoy being able to have a
My poor
conversation
husband.
later about this one. Black women are more inhibited sexually.
Why?
Right? It says, where does it say? Often women have been raised to keep themselves poised and act like ladies at all times, especially in public while under pressure. So because you're forced to put up this image, it's hard to take it down when it's time to relax and get with the husband or right? So it says, however, black men tell us that the love and freedom and ability to know their woman can be flexible and go with the flow in certain and be more spontaneous can be a challenge.
I'm not going to. I don't know about that one.
Fair enough. And if
I
you
don't
don't know,
know.
if
I
you
don't
don't know,
know.
you need ask Tariq.
I can look into that one, but I'm not sure, because it's what you get. It's what that person gives. It's the energy that you get from that person that sets the tone for any kind of sexual
And
vibe.
this, and if we were to wrap up on anything, this would be the message, right? In the dynamic, when the man is always leading in the bedroom, that is actually the woman's domain. And I can understand it being a challenge, and it being a challenge because if we're both going out to work and we're both doing all these things, then we're both exhausted. But
Right.
if the man is the one who's going out and braving all the tigers and lions and all the dangerous things, then when he comes back home, why should he still have to put on a cape and make everything perfect for you?
Historically, every kind of way, it's always been the man that leads
Actually,
in
historically,
the bedroom.
this
Give me
side
an example.
actually no, because the job of pleasing a man has always been the job of the woman.
But that's luring the man.
Say again?
It's luring the man. So basically,
Luring?
when
What
you
do you
luring, so a woman
Attracting-
seduces, attracts,
Yes.
and brings the man.
So you don't want to seduce your husband?
Yes,
You don't want to
no,
seduce Tariq?
I'm saying that is what the woman does. But when they get to the place where they're supposed to interact sexually, then it becomes the man that takes over.
Why?
That's just the way it is.
I thought you
Just
said
like
that.
how
I
women
thought
are
you said that the
nurturers.
men presented a particular thing, and then when you got to the point, they changed gears. That was a challenge. Did this be the same
woman
thing here?
literally looks at the man and says, "Show me what you can do now." Literally, that's how it is.
So again, the man has to prove himself.
Yes.
Why? and that's the challenge, right? So here, and this is what we talk about on the show, in that helping men to recognize that if you don't understand your value, if you don't understand your worth as a man, if you don't understand your worth as a leader, this is going to be the challenge. Women will lead you around by your nose
Ooh.
and cause you to misunderstand what is happening. If the man is going out, killing, hunting, earning, when he comes home, that peace, this is what this peace looks like. Being able to rub his head, rub his feet, giving some good sex, all of these things, so that tomorrow, when he gets up in the morning, puts on his cape and goes out, he knows exactly what he's doing it for. He knows exactly who he's doing it for. And he knows that where every place in the world is unsafe, right at home is where he has peace.
You have opened my mind a bit, but not fully.
And that's
Yeah.
all right. That's all right. That's all right. There's a message coming in.
Okay, let me see what this message says.
Let's see.
The man usually wants to lead in that area, even in nature. The male birds have to put on a show. Just like the peacocks, they have to show that their tails are colorful in order to enhance and entice and seduce and allure a woman, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When it comes to getting started. So you're absolutely right in terms of men. Men have to get up and go out there and get it, make it work. Just like you said earlier, he had to go out there and work on his lyrics,
Right.
lyrics in order to be attractive to you. That's his feathers. You have to work on his competence. He had to come to make sure that when you can't feel provided for if he doesn't have money to provide. You have to go out there and qualify himself so he can provide for you. And he needs to also work on his physicality, because if he's skinny and scrawny and don't look like him can mash ants, you're not going to feel protected around him.
So
right?
why do men usually ask what do women bring to the table?
Say again?
Why do men usually ask what do women bring to the
That's the
table?
question of the evening.
Is it just femininity that you guys are looking for? Because that's a wonderful answer. You know, we can teach that because that's easy. That's something that we're born with. But what more
No,
do you
actually.
guys want?
What women bring to the table is to start off with that question. And that question encompasses the idea of a woman brings to the table the understanding of what men want. Because if you're in a relationship with the man and he's constantly trying to please you, he's trying to figure it out, then you don't have a clue what he wants. You don't have a clue how to bring him actual peace. In order to bring him peace, and feminists, get your pitchforks, men have to train women, right? Because whoever you were dating before, whoever you might have seen before, when you're with me, I'm a different person. So you can't tell me what John used to do with you. No, you have to be trained on how this man. So maybe you love cooking stew peas, but I don't like stew peas. He likes chicken. So if every evening you come home and you cook stew peas, that's disrespect.
Yes.
You want to cook the things that please him. And this is especially true in the dynamics of when we're clear on our roles. So because he has to go out there and provide whether he likes it or not. Rain, sleet, snow, lions, tigers, whatever it is, he needs to bring home the bacon and keep the lights on because, and this is important for you, because if you're worried about the house being seized, if you're worried about the lights getting cut off, you can't lean into your femininity.
That's
Because
true.
you're worried about protection and provision. So his job is to make sure that that's not the case. And again, to connect with what you said earlier, if you're signaling to your wife that or your girlfriend that, hey, the lights, we can't afford the lights, you're signaling a scarcity mindset. And she's going to start getting worried. So you're right. If a man is going, you need to turn off the light, that's not the space that you want to be with in men.
And that pushes a woman now
And
to
that
go-
pushes her into masculinity. And we don't want to push our women into masculinity. We want to help them to unlock their femininity because the world is telling them foolishness. And I'm glad that we're able to unlock some of the femininity inside you as your mind is opened somewhat. I'm sure Tariq is going to enjoy tonight's conversation as you learn more to please him and appreciate the hard work that he's put in
I
to
appreciate
attract
the hard
you.
work that he puts in every single day.
All right, all
And I'm
right.
sure he appreciates it, me as well.
He loves you. That's why he made you his wife, right?
Right.
And we've appreciated having the conversation. Is there anything that you want to share with our listeners, our viewers right now that may help them to unlock their femininity and unlock their masculinity and not lead them into chaos?
As he's helping me to say what I need to say in order to get his point across. Right. So I understand where this whole show was leading to, and it's been very, very enlightening, and I have enjoyed myself thoroughly. But I want to continue to say that women are able to connect with a balance of finding what they want to do professionally as well as being mothers, being homemakers. It's harder and you have to work harder. You have to work very, very hard, but it's possible. And if you want to be a homemaker, that's completely okay as well. But you have to be there for your partner, and your partner has to also be there for you. So it's literally a communication, and you have to come together to become one whole, right? So to go off with that, I'm sure that my co-host has something that he wants to say.
See, look at that. She's my co-host now. Look at that. There you go, right? So thank you very much for sharing that with the women, giving them misleading advice. But of course, they understand that if you want to make your life harder, by all means, do that. but to find that path where we can really lean into how we are designed to be and be able to truly find that, what we call the zone, where you can just flourish, lean into your masculinity, lean into your femininity, enjoy each other, because that is what we were designed to do. This has been The Wrecking Trade. I'm Robert Lynch. This has been a wonderful evening. You've been listening to us on Flashpoint Media. Join us next week where we continue to dig into these conversations. Join us tomorrow morning when Mikey kicks it off and continues the conversation, because Mikey checks in on the breakfast hour. Mikey, anything for the people?
Yes, full fun. I'm just, let me open my microphone for a minute. I think my mic is already open. Is my mic open? I think so. I want to say good show. And a great guest.
Yes.
I think she did awesome though.
She did well.
She did amazing.
She learned. When women learn, is always doing well.
She did amazing. That's what I can say. Beautiful show.
All right. Anything you're looking at tomorrow morning?
Well, tomorrow morning, we just want to give God thanks tomorrow morning for all that He has done for us, and continue to lift Him up, and just get those persons who are so skeptical about. We're talking about skepticism tomorrow in terms of how people are nowadays. While the Bible is so much more, people are seeking God less, So we want to explore a little bit of that tomorrow morning. All
right. So join us next week and join Mikey tomorrow morning. This has been The Wrecking Trade. I'm Robert Lynch, signing out.
Platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men find their place in the modern world. Through engaging interviews with experts and members of the community, we provide a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like as an example for boys and girls. Our mission is to provide a voice for men, to help them navigate the challenges that they face and provide hope for a brighter future. So tune in and join the conversation on The Wrecking Trade.